That's the Father. That's why God the Father is so special. It's not because of patriarchy. Please don't buy into patriarchy and matriarchy and everything like that. It really irritates me when people write to you and say, oh, Santos, you said that the moon is evil and you said that Saturn is evil. Yeah, well, have you seen where I say that the moon is my goddess and that I love the moon because I'm extolling her virtues, but in another presentation I have to extol and tell you how bad she can be? Because that's how the demiurge works. This is the dyad and this is the monad. In the monad there is no good and evil. It doesn't exist because there's no polarization as such. Pole, that's another one. Pole. Polarized light. The two twins. Whoops. Let's go slow. Come on. Pollux and Castor. See, Bol and Tor. Remember, Pollux is the divine one because this is polarized light. Lux is divine light. Lumen is mundane light. Lux, lumen. So polarized light, Pollux, and Castor, because Astor means star, and that's a Taurus field. And he was the one that Pollux, the divine, had to go down and save from his. He was mortal. Pollux is immortal, and the Taurus field, of course, is immortal because it's temporal. So that's why Pollux has got to go down, polarized light, to save his brother, the Gemini twins. And what have you noticed when you look up? Have a look tonight at midnight. You'll see the twins up there. Grab your phone, put your app on, and you'll see a red light for Pollux, for Castor. No, actually, Pollux is red and Castor's greenish blue. It's right there. Mars is red, clearly. Venus is blue, clearly. Because Mars Atom is Adam. What does Adam mean? Hebrew scholars? What does Adam mean?
Red.
Red. Adam means red. Adama. It's terrible, isn't it? My writing. I can write well. I can write really neatly, but I never do my presentations. I don't know why. Let's do it nice. Adama, the earth, is red earth. Earth, heaven. Adam means red. How do you say Mars in Hebrew? Ma'adim. Ma'adim. It's almost like madam, isn't it? In fact, Adam is a madam. So Ma'adim, Mars, Adam, is red. Just look up. And Venus is blue. Well, that's Eve. And all you have to do is look at a few languages and you'll work that out. Adam and Eve. It's red shift, blue shift. All the twins, Pollux and Castor. Blue shift, Bol, Tor is red. Cain and Abel. Cain means red. Abel means blue. Jacob and Esau. Esau means red. Jacob means blue. All the twins. It's red and blue, red and blue, red and blue. Red blood, blue blood. Red veins, blue arteries. No, the other way around, isn't it? Help me. Arteries are red. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're not doctors here. One's red and one's blue. That's all it is. It's all red and blue. Roses are red, violets are blue. And so when you understand this, that's why I really laboured this. Thank you for who went and got this whiteboard for me. There it is. Thank you, brother. And because I really want to establish before we hit the presentations, and I'm still going to go, because I know in my mind there's still more to come to do here, because it's very, very important that everything is this. Nothing is not this. Don't imagine that you'll read any kind of book, whether it's Bhagavad Gita or the Bible or any scripture at all, anywhere. Oh, there it is. And you're not reading about this. This is Christ, this is Jesus, this is Moses, this is Mars, this is Saturn, Hercules, Little Red Riding Hood, Humpty Dumpty, Santa Claus. It's all this. There's nothing that is not this. All words come from here. And this is the true model of the atom. This is a neutron, the plane of inertia. Everything gets zeroed out here. This is the Taurus. This is the bull. Voltage. Vol is vol. Voltage. Amps. Amplitude. How many amps do you have going through those cables? What does amps mean? Amplitude. The wider the current, the wider the hose, more water flows through it. And that's wave amplitude. These are the amps. And this is the ohms, the resistance. Volts, amps, ohms. It's always a trinity. Dielectricity is this. It's expressed in the plane of inertia. This is the proton. This is the electron. Thank you, Walter Russell. Walter Russell has a laugh. He says, all of these scientists talking about neutrons, neutrinos, and what are all these little quantum particles? It's a load of BS, pure BS, because there is only dielectricity, magnetism, and electricity. So when they start talking about all this neutrinos, all they're doing is talking about different magnitudes of magnetism. Because they don't exist. Thank you, Walter Russell, in his book Atomic Suicide, where he absolutely put to death the stupid theory of the modern atom, which is and how everything they say works atomically, because it doesn't. And it's about time. My heart burns with zeal against the evil lies that are perpetrated on us, to dumb us down so we don't see any of this. And it's so... This, to me, I was born knowing this, pretty much. I knew that this would come to me in its wholeness one day. Maybe I had a memory from past lives. I don't know. And I don't care to know. All I care to know is I want to know all the truth, and I don't want to swallow any lies anymore, because it's hurting us.
Like CERN in Europe, they want to split the atom?
Yeah, split the atom.
Crazy.
How are they going to split this? How are they going to split these are units of light. You can't do that. All you can do is activate that so that it expresses itself more powerfully. Because imagine, you've got to think there's different shapes and frequencies of atoms. They're not all the same. Hydrogen is the only atom that doesn't have a plane of inertia. It's only a proton and an electron. Then helium, here we go, let's do that. Gen means to generate. Hydro is water. The Greeks told us that everything comes from water. And what is the sun? Hydrogen. But it is also helium, number 2. 1, the monad. 2, the dyad. Helium, everything under hell, all the elements below helium is hell. That's what it is. I'm telling you. You just have to pay attention. Hydrogen, DRO, is the door. Remember I was saying all the words that end in tor? Actor, creator, manifestor. Well, in Spanish it's creador, manifestador, I don't know what that's, but it's all door. Well, that's the door. It's the doorway. The torus is the door. Tor is the door. Because it's a hole, it's a wormhole, it's the door. So when you see the moon, like I said before, you can see the moon is clearly a ring. Clearly. Especially on the new moon. The first day of the new moon, you will see this beautiful ring and you'll see a black hole here. And rest assured, it's not a solid ball. It's a hole. It's a wormhole. And all the ancients ever said that the moon is the ovaries of the solar system, and souls come into Earth from the moon. And they go back through the sun. Because the sun is a hole, it's a wormhole back to cause. That's why Jesus says, no one goes to the Father except through me. Saying, the Son of God, S-U-N-S-O-N, is saying that you have to go back through the sun. That's why we must be helio-gnostics, solar heroes. So helium, all the elements under there that have these, neutron, proton. I left space in there. What would you put in there? How do you say fire in Greek?
Pyro.
Pyro. Rot. Red. Electron. L is for liquid. Proton, electron. That's all it is. Redshift, proton, right turning, radiating, centrifugal, divergent light. Blue is left turning, converging, centripetal light. Just be familiar with the two lights, the bowl and the tall, and you'll get it. You'll get everything. It'll all come to you. It's the pyroton, it's fire. L is liquid. The electron is liquid. This is liquid, and that's why you've got left and right. Because in language, L and R are called the two liquids. What's a liquid consonant? It's one that can be sustained. You can't do that with a P or a B. You can do it with a V. You see, so B becomes V just to liquefy it. It's a liquefied B. The letter R is special. The proton, pyro, fire, is special because it's the only pulsating letter in the alphabet. That's a pulse. When you speak Italian, rosso. You see, in English there's no Scottish dude. Lucky the Scottish. You need the letter R, you need to learn how to vibrate. Because the L, the R is called the rhotic liquid. Rhotic. Rho, Kiro is Christ. Kiro. Rho, the rhotic. That letter, it's always there. Hare Krishna. It's in Hare, it's in Krishna. Hare Rama, it's in Hare and it's in Rama. It's in Christ. It's in all the holy words. Israel. You'll always find it in the middle of the words. Abraxas. Abraham. Because it's the pulse. The 18th letter, 666. The letter R. Radiation, rage, redshift. It pulsates. It's a rhotic liquid. L is a lateral liquid because it comes from the lateral sides. but it's a liquid. Right and left turning. And that's what electricity does. Have you ever heard electricity arcing? Yeah. Go and see an electrician and tell him to play around with electricity, and all you will hear is L is like a flat line and R is like a vibration. But it's not a vibration, it's a pulse. So don't let anyone talk to you about particle wave universe. Particles don't exist. Thank you, J.J. Thomson, discoverer of the electron. Funny how his name has Tom in it. J.J. Thomson, because he's interested in atoms. And the first guy who did the, Thomas Young, who did the first double slit experiment 200 years ago, Thomas Young. You can't make this stuff up, guys. You can't. So, thank you. He went almost on his deathbed, J.J. Thomson. He says, please don't think that the electron is a particle. A photon is a particle. There's no particles. He was trying to tell us that they're all pulses. No wonder when you notice the particle that disappears and then there's the wave. Oh, God have mercy on their souls when these poor fools who go and pay for their education to be dumbed down, to be absolutely reduced to stupidity. We have been told in the scriptures it's a pulse wave universe. The wave is the illusion, it's temporal and finite, and the pulse is eternal and infinite. Remember the word eternity, guys, because that's what you are. Don't buy into death. What's death? Anyone going to help me with that one? You've seen my presentations.
Earth.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yes. But what's the opposite of Earth? The Hebrews, ether, the heavens, and your little pinky is what? Earth mudra. If you need to earth to ether. Why do you give people the thumbs up all the time? Is this rude or is this good? No. It's like, is a knife good? Well, it's not when it's killing people, but when it's buttering bread to feed the poor, it's good. It's good if you intend it to be good. But the point is, you go from ether down to earther. It's the same word. Kether in Hebrew to Malkuth. So when you die, it is the doorway. You can either see this, my body, the torso is in the shape of a T. Anatomy. It's a tomb. Because Pollux, divine light, lux, has been entombed in my atoms. Because they're all made of light. Sonoluminescent. So this is the tomb. From the womb to the tomb. From soma to sema. Thank you, Plato. Same rhyme. Soma, sema, womb, tomb. Every language does this. So, this is the baptism of death, earth. Earth and death are the same word, you can see clearly. That's why you go to church and get baptised in water, because the next step from earth, the universal solvent, water, cleanses your body, earth. Then the next is air, so you get an air baptism, thank you John the Baptist, and then a fire baptism, which is the highest baptism. Have you heard of someone saying, oh, he's been baptised in fire? He really has fire baptism, because that's the ultimate baptism. So you are going through the doorway back to ether. That's why you want to leave your earth body, and this is a good word. Oh, I long for this day to be taken from this plane and go back to here, where my file is waiting for me, so I can bring all my improvements back with no viruses and no corruption. And I'm not going there, man. I'm going back to the black. Back. Don't go to the white light, because white light is good, but you don't go to the white light. Because white is blank, blanco. And you start blank again. You don't want to start wiped blank if you get seduced by Jesus. Christ is the black light. Remember, Christ and Krishna mean black. There will be Christ and there will be Jesus. Black and white light. They're both good. Depending on whether you need to reincarnate again and be blanco and be blanked out, or whether you want to go back to the black where there is no lack. So, I think I'll leave it at that. You are climbing up Jacob's ladder from Malkut to Kita, from earth to ether. And so don't buy into the red ship, blue ship illusion, temporal, that you're going to die. Oh, my mother died. I'm going to cry for a month. Yeah, sure, you'll miss it, but you don't need to cry. Unless she was evil and then she's probably not going to go back to here real quick. It's probably going to get locked in this place here. The ghost, the spirit will always be blocked from ascending. But eventually, through pain, pleasure and pain, you'll get back to the bliss. Bliss. Remember, all words, just watch, pay attention. Bliss. It's the bowl. Remember, everything goes back to transcendence and everything comes out. This is akin to white light, this is akin to black light. Red and blue. They're doing the same thing, transcendental, temporal. Same function. This is non-vibratory, this is vibratory. This is a radial wave. It's radiation, vibration. Radiation, Ra, the god Ra, is superior to vibration. Thank you. Let's go and get some coffees and whatever.
All right.
So I'm starting from the start, okay? And you see rest and motion. Black light is resting. And white light, mag in Sanskrit means to move, magnetism, magnitude, etc. Magnificent, magnanimous. All these beautiful magnetic words. Magic. I love this word. Mary Magdalene. And we are... why do I keep getting an awful sound here? I'll turn that down a bit. That's 1, 2... It's the wrong volume up there. There you go. No. Master volume. Master volume. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Right, so... Prima materia, the first matter. Notice mat is backwards for tan. Always look at the words backwards, anagrams, mix them up, jumble them up, and remember the interchangeables. R and L, number one interchangeables. Have you I don't remember which movie it was, but there was a Chinese guy, he says, "No fly lie, fry rye." See? One's got an R in it, one's got an L in it. I had a Japanese wife. Been to Japan 5 times, I did musical touring there with my band. And I learned Japanese, and I saw that in their language. They don't say R, they say L, you know, instead of R. So fry ride, fly lie, it's always these two interchangeables, the rhotic and the lateral. So you've got, let's mirror that. Motor, the motor of the universe. The mother, matter. It's all there. Material, maternal. Anyway, more will come on that, but that's what you're looking at. That's what atom is. It's the motor. Atoms are motors, they're little motors, sonoluminescent motors. And this is the first matter. And it divides the dyad. If anyone's a sound tech, you can play around with that and try and get that echo if you want. If you want to be brave and give it a go, but I'll try and keep the...
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad? Okay. So there's the dyad breaks down into the tetrad, and then you've got the triad, the trinity, salt, mercury and sulfur. We'll go through these. So notice the word stop, it has top in it, because at the top of the wave there's always that crest where you rest. It's all wave science, all these words. They're all in the wave. Okay? So you'll find that the Hebrew language, as I said before, starting from Aleph, Beth, and Tav, this is the word rest, a crest. Kaf, Resh, Shin, Tav. You can see it's right there, crest. It's the last four letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Okay? And here we have it as Christo. What's Christ doing hiding in the English alphabet? I've been pointing this out for years. And then you'll notice here abracadabra at the start. And then lumen. These are all different kinds of light hiding, embedded in our language. It is amazing.
Yeah.
Because Christ is the hidden one. It's hidden in the alphabet. And everyone says it, doesn't it? Q-R-S-T-U in Italian. Q-R-S-T-U, Christo. It's right there. Abracadabra is the opening light of the proton. That's why it's got that prominent R in it. Lumen, you get words like laminin. Laminin is a little cross that is the glue in your body, little laminins. And laminin is the Lamb of God. This is another way, this is another kind of light. This is more lunar, moon. This is all really feminine. This is very masculine. This is kind of neutral light. But everywhere in the alphabet, I can sit here for hours and speak about how all of this is light. They're all light letters. And they all correspond in gematria with their respective numbers. One, Beth in Hebrew means both. Thank you, Stan Tenen, great Hebrew scholar. Clarity, the third light, clarity. Ether, the fifth element, the quintessence. There it is, E. F, fire, photon. I'm trying to think. Anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but just this will inspire you to see what the alphabet really is. Okay? And it's interesting how it's got bet. B being the first letter and T being the last letter. T and B. The Hebrews say that this means ox. And what is an ox? Sterile. Hence the letter A has no power except that it is